in English, everyone's so busy talking and talking and talking. In Yiddish, it's all about listening. You might have heard the word schmooze, which in English people would translate as we're going to have a conversation. The word schmooze actually comes from the Hebrew shama, to listen. Because in Yiddish, it's all about listening.
Zersetzt sollst du nicht werden. Don't get squashed. To me, that was the worst curse in the entire world. I never heard the words. I only heard the way she said it. When I was an adult, I finally listened to the words and I said, my God, it's not a curse at all. That's my earliest recollection of a curse, which wasn't even a curse.
And we're always questioning the fineries of language. Why are we here? Where was God? Why was he hiding his face at times of trouble? The Grand Inquisitor of the Spanish Inquisition was questioning the chief rabbi of Toledo, and he said, why do you Jews always answer the Inquisition with a question? So my feeling is that it's become part of our language, of our daily basic sprach on the street,
People don't necessarily learn Yiddish to communicate. You know there are words in English like a maven, a schmuck. All the Yiddish words we know are all these fun words. What is this language that we hear all about? We can't actually speak.
A part of our story is Babylonia and Egypt and Spain and the Holocaust. Suffering is a part of one of our definitions. The other part is learning, of course, the Torah and the Book of Family Values. So I think, the more you get into Jewish life and the more you get into Jewish culture, the harder it is to escape that essential part of our character of suffering wed to knowledge. And I think at that nexus is where you're going to find the beauty of Yiddish and poetry.
But what is really Yiddish? 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 But what is really Yiddish is this, and I can't describe that. That's with the thumb going in and up, which is af salachas, in spite of all the trials and tribulations, we poke fun.
It was a little difficult to get the thumb on the microphone. But it's poking fun.
I grew up speaking Yiddish, and that was pretty much a prevalent attitude amongst the adult Yiddish speakers. It's the idea of, if it could get any worse, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you. And I always kind of enjoyed that. I liked that.
I happen to have a Yiddish family background. And I think so much of what I associate with that background is not even so much the Yiddish words, but it's the way these immigrants said those Yiddish words. So talking about Yiddish curses and insults and blessings, you're a good girl. Miriam, you're a good girl. There's something so Yiddish about that. They're not really speaking English. They're really speaking Yiddish, but they're doing it in English. I would say you're talking Yiddish, if you know what I mean. Holocaust survivors didn't survive the war because they were nice. And I think there's a lot behind these people's curses and blessings.
So you would ask your mom these expressions, and you would talk about them with her, and then?
And she would say, I'd say, so what's that? What do they used to say all the time? Like, "Chob schon geben dir zazet." And she'd say, oh yeah, that one means I've already given you such a smack. You've crossed the line. Chob schon geben dir zazet.
Du sollst licken and dreht and backen bagel. You should go to hell and have to still bake bagels in hell and not be able to eat them. Azoi, die sollst licken and dreht and backen bagel. Azoi. And there's also other lovely Yiddish phrases like,
I thought this was a wonderful curse and something that I could tell my friends. It's a creative, colorful way of saying, go to hell. But literally, it means you should grow like an onion with your head in the ground. Die sollst wachsen wie a Soja Zibbele mit dem Kopf in der Erde. There's something about the word Zibbele that has a flavor that you don't get in onion. Die sollst wachsen wie so ein Zibbele mit dem Kopf in der Erde. I thought that was pretty good.
That was awesome.
According to Jewish custom and in some places law, newborn babies were named after deceased relatives. So that when you told somebody that it's time to name someone after you already, it means you're wishing him to drop dead so they can name a baby after him. It's time they named somebody after you. Es ist eine Zeit, einen Namen nach dir zu geben.
Or, your doctor should make a lot of money from you. Dein Doktor soll machen Penusse von deinem Leben.
Guy hang sich off, which means go hang yourself. But it's what my puppy would say as a joke. If she took someone's coat and she would say, Guy hang sich off, which was so funny, but it's so mean. Guy hang sich off.
You should have one tooth in your head. You should have a pain in that tooth. Du sollst haben ein Zahn in Maul und du sollst haben a Schmerz in das Zahn. What else?
To this day, I'm still also questioning, if you only have one shirt, how can you ever be a rich man? My Zaidi always said this proverb. It means to sell your last shirt, but to be a rich man. Oi, Leia, die letzte Hemd zu verkaufen, aber zu sein ein Gewirr.
If you want a lengthier one, there's one that says, Wohnen sollst du in a Palaz.
You should live in a
Der
palace.
Palaz soll haben 100 Zimmern.
The palace should
In
have
jedem
100
Zimmer
rooms.
soll stehen a golden
And in
bed.
every room there should be a golden bed.
Mit a Kadachis
And you should
von
be
ein
thrown
Bett
with
bis
convulsions
zum anderen.
from one bed to the other.
I once lost a job. I was teaching in a German department. The guy said, well, we're not going to renew you. I said, well, why are you telling me this in April when you made the decision in October when I might have had time to apply for another job? And I said to him, knowing that he would understand only the first half, sollst du kommen zum Anmaße. That is, this should happen to you, you son of a bitch. Sollst du kommen zum Anmaße. Give it some on model. Also, die sollten liegen in Brett und backen Bagel. Backen Bagel.
Hab schon geben da, Zaze.
Also,
Hab schon geben da, Zaze.
Oi, Leia, die letzte Hemd zu verkaufen.
Guy hang.
Sollst du kommen zum An.
Wohnen sollst du in a
also,
Wohnen sollst du
Geben, Zaze.
Doktor soll machen Penusse von deinem Leben.
Da hängt sich auf. Da hängt sich. Da. Drauf.
It is a way of celebrating Jewish identity without having to go to a synagogue and practice Judaism, without having to go to Israel and celebrate your Jewish homeland. Instead, you're celebrating your Jewish identity and background in a completely secular and politically unaffiliated way.
It's So I think I have a different approach altogether, actually. I don't necessarily believe that because Yiddish culture is another Jewish identity, it's unconnected to Israel. Learning Hebrew and the history of Hebrew will tell you about the history of Yiddish and vice versa. They go together.
It's a way of connecting with other people and feeling it become real. I guess bringing it back to my identity and making it personal, that's how I feel.
I came today to the gym here at the Jewish Community Center, and I ran into a friend of mine. And whenever we see each other, we speak Yiddish, and we find a lot of joy in it. Example, today he came and he was not too happy, he was not feeling too good, and we just spoke Yiddish for a few minutes, and we started feeling better, both of us. And afterwards I said, I hope you have good exercise. He says, you know what, just the talking was good.
When you speak to somebody older, I think you speak to an old native Yiddish speaker, first of all, there's a light in their eyes that just shines when they see somebody young speaking Yiddish. That's something special to experience. Speaking of connection, that's exactly when they feel that I'm sort of reaching back into their past rather than them trying to reach into my future. And I think that's a beautiful moment. The post-war North American experience of these people coming here and creating these institutions really from scratch. So I'm talking about communal institutions, schools, synagogues, mutual benefit societies, all the things that sort of created North American Jewish society and culture. And that was all happening because they all had the Yiddish to bind them. And I think, I wonder if we have anything that binds us quite so closely anymore as Yiddish did for them. We live in a different time, and we're different people. And so speaking Yiddish just allows you to sort of reach back into that, and bring it forward.
Blessing is what my great-uncle Yankel used to say to me when he came to the house to see his brother, my grandfather, and he'd say, "A Leben auf dein Kopf." He'd tap me on the head, and he'd give me a quarter. Funny, I never really knew what it meant. I knew it was good, and I knew it meant a long life on your head. But I never really knew what it meant in English. I only understood it in Yiddish.
How did your uncle say it?
He actually had lifelong asthma, so he had a raspy voice and it was high. And he used to sleep sitting up. So he said it with a rasp. I think I have a little rasp today. So he'd say, "A Leben auf dein Kopf," and then tap me on the head.
Thank you very much.
In English, if you said that, they would call the police on you. A gesintir and pipik, which is among the most common Yiddish blessings, which literally means have good health in your belly button. A gesintir and pipik.
The curses are often funny. Are there any funny blessings?
When a Jew sneezes, it's gzint. But when a goy sneezes, tzezetz, like he should explode.
Ja, ik heb gekeken wie schwer ich hab gearbeitet. Sie, was herzlich du so über Job, du weißt? Aber, also, man tracht, man plans, God laughs at our plans. Baruch Hashem, God bless God. Man tracht, God lacht, Baruch Hashem. As man plans, God laughs at our plans. God bless God. Man tracht und Gott lacht. Baruch Hashem.